gently flowing by. You notice the leaves rustling with the wind. You hear the birds. You hear the tree frogs. In the distance, you hear a cow. You feel the grass. The mud gives a little bit on the riverbank. It's quiet. It's peaceful. And all of a sudden, it's a gear shift inside you. And it's like taking a deep breath and going, oh yeah, I forgot about this. This is the first picture of the Earth from space that any of us ever saw. It was taken on Christmas Eve, 1968, during the Apollo 8 mission. Relatively comfortable boundaries, but we are filling up that thin shell of atmosphere with pollution. I don't find that particularly fun. I've been trying to tell this story for a long time, and I feel as if I've failed to get the message across. I was in politics for a long time. I'm proud of my service. You gotta be kidding me. This is a national disaster. Get every doggone Greyhound bus line in the country and get this moving to New Orleans. That's the thinking small, man. And this is a major, major, major deal. What do you need right now? There are good people who are in politics, in both parties, who hold this at arm's length because if they acknowledge it and recognize it, then the moral imperative to make big changes is inescapable. And let's fix the biggest damn crisis in the history of this country. And they lost radio contact when they went around the dark side of the moon. And there was inevitably some suspense. Then when they came back in radio contact, they looked up and they snapped this picture, and it became known as Earthrise. And that one picture exploded in the consciousness of humankind. It led to dramatic changes. Within 18 months of this picture, the modern environmental movement had begun. The next picture was taken on the last of the Apollo missions, Apollo 17. This one was taken on December 11th, 1972, and it is the most commonly published photograph in all of history. And it's the only picture of the Earth from space that we have where the sun was directly behind the spacecraft, so that the Earth is fully lit up and not partly in darkness. The next image I'm going to show you has almost never been seen. It was taken by a spacecraft called the Galileo that went out to explore the solar system. And as it was leaving Earth's gravity, it turned its cameras around and took a time-lapse picture of 1 day's worth of rotation here compressed into 24 seconds. Isn't that beautiful? This image is a magical image in a way. It was made by a friend of mine, Tom Van Sant. He took 3,000 separate satellite pictures taken over a 3-year period, digitally stitched together, and he chose images that would give a cloud-free view of every square inch of the Earth's surface. All of the landmass is accurately portrayed. When that's all spread out, it becomes an iconic image. I show this because I want to tell you a story about 2 teachers I had. One that I didn't like that much, the other who was a real hero to me. I had a grade school teacher who taught geography by pulling a map of the world down in front of the blackboard. I had a classmate in the 6th grade who raised his hand and he pointed to the outline of the east coast of South America, and he pointed to the west coast of Africa, and he asked, "Did they ever fit together?" And the teacher said, "Of course not. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard." That student went on to become a drug addict and a ne'er-do-well. The teacher went on to become science advisor in the current administration. But you know, the teacher was actually reflecting the conclusion of